If you're tuned into the gaming sphere at all, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a game you've probably heard a lot about. My name's Kevin from Save the Game Media, and in today's video, I'm going to let you know my thoughts as someone brand new to the Assassin's Creed series. My time with the game has come to an end, and I'll cover both the good and the bad of Ubisoft's long awaited trip to feudal Japan. Firstly, shout out to Ubisoft for providing a code for this review. If you're new to the channel and into day one or new game reviews, why not consider subscribing for more content? As I mentioned, Assassin's Creed Shadows is my very first Assassin's Creed game. I've always been surrounded by people who have been huge fans of the series, but it's just never clicked with me personally. However, I really wanted to give this one the good old college try, and my experience was mixed to say the least. Let's start out with the positives: the story and the stealth gameplay. Assassin's Creed Shadows puts you into the role of Naue and Yasuke. Naue is an Egan looking for revenge after the death of her father, while Yasuke is a samurai serving the current emperor. We aren't talking spoilers here, but what I will say is that I did enjoy both character stories. While Naue could have felt like a story you've seen 100 times, I think there's enough heart and emotion in the performance and character development to make this much more than your classic revenge tale. In fact, this is very much Naue's game. You play as her for a good 10 hours before you even unlock Yasuke, and Yasuke's story involvement to start is pretty lackluster. That's because Yasuke's story, while interconnecting with Naue towards the end of the game, is much more of a personal tale. A man brought to Japan as a slave who becomes a samurai but is still trying to find his way in the world. The story sees Naue and Yasuke teaming up to reclaim Japan from the evil Shinbakufu, each by using their own unique toolset. Now let's talk gameplay, because I do think there is quite a lot to like about the stealth part, aka Naue's gameplay. Full disclosure, I did turn on the assassination equals instant kill setting because I think it's dumb and always have that the assassinations wouldn't one shot someone. With that out of the way, Naue is a blast to play as, lurking on top of rooftops, jumping down and killing people, hiding in the bushes, luring them to their death, not to mention the fun tools you get like kunai and shuriken. You get the full ninja experience. What makes this stuff even better is the use of the light in the game. Being able to blow out candles to create shadows to hide in is a great feature. The only faults come from the clunky parkour system, which can lead to you not grabbing edges and getting exposed, or the occasional bad enemy AI who won't even see you when you're standing right next to them. Contrast Naue's gameplay with Yasuke, and we see a drastic downturn in enjoyment, however. Yasuke is a samurai and possesses none of the grace that Naue does. As such, his only real option is head to head combat. The problem is, that's not where this game excels. He is very slow, attacks feel cumbersome, parrying and dodges feel unresponsive, and while he has some genuinely cool abilities, it feels like if you play as Yasuke, you're intentionally choosing to have a worse experience. He does have his utility, mainly in group fights, that Naue is not designed for, with her weak damage and low health. However, here lies one of my other big issues with the game: it's game design. There are times where it'll force you into 1v1 boss fights or group fights as Naue because you had no idea they're coming up. You go to talk to a quest giver, and suddenly you're throwing down with enemies that you really don't have much of a chance to fight. You can't switch characters while in combat, and you're often locked into fights even when reloading. It's frustrating to say the least. Before we go further, I do want to say that overall, I think Assassin's Creed Shadow is a good game that has serious game design faults. Firstly, the game acts like it wants you to explore the vast, beautiful open world Japan that they've created. But when you try to go off the main roads, you're met with mountains that you slide down when you try to climb, bushes and bamboo your character constantly gets stuck on. It's like the environment is at odds with the exploration they encourage you to do. Unless you're going across the water or sticking to the main roads, which takes infinitely longer, traversal can be quite frustrating. However, I can look past all of that. I was having enough fun taking out targets to ignore it. However, what I can't ignore is that from a game design standpoint, the leveling in this game is flat out broken. Unless you're a completionist, you will be constantly underleveled. I actually did way more side content than I planned to. I cleared multiple entire assassination trees. I did a few side quests. I took down the entire Shinbakufu for the main story, but was trying to complete Yasuke and Naoi's personal journeys. That is where I tapped out. I was low 30s, and the main story expected me to be much higher to even have a chance. I also strongly dislike that skill progression is tied to optional content to gain knowledge points. While some of these activities, such as the meditation, enhances a character's backstory, finding scrolls in a temple is busy work and boring. I'm not here to grind. I shouldn't be forced to do all of the side content in order to experience the main story, but it feels like that's what they want you to do. That's ultimately what broke me. Being locked into a Yasuke only mission, fighting for 2 hours against skull enemies who could one shot me. I tried lowering the difficulty, but to no avail. Sure, could I have persevered? Perhaps, but if I'm not having fun, that's when I'm out. That is the biggest sin for Assassin's Creed Shadows for me. There are times when you're having a lot of fun, assassinating people, traveling, viewing the open, amazing world that Ubisoft has created here, but it often feels you're battling the game itself and it sucks the fun away. I have other small nitpicks here and there. I think the base building is completely pointless and forgettable. The voice acting and everything but the main story cutscenes can be subpar, but all of that I can overlook when I'm having fun. But I can't continue a game when the fun stops. And that's what happened to me. Ultimately, I think Assassin's Creed Shadows is exactly what I thought it would be: a good open world game with solid stealth gameplay and a pretty good story, unfortunately held back by baffling game design decisions. I recommend the game if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, as you know what you're getting into, or you're a completionist. Otherwise, I'd wait for a sale on this one. But let me know your thoughts down below. If you're playing the game, how are you liking it? And make sure to follow us over on Blue Sky at Save the Game Media to stay up to date with all of our latest content. Until next time, I've been Kevin. See ya.